Major Gregory Keene is here to continue the story from a dark alley that leads on to Fenhall Street.
Not half an hour ago, I arrived in Sydney at the start of my search for Bruno Kesselring, the scientist who came here and vanished. I traveled as Richard Hayden, and only one person in Australia, Evelyn Channel, is supposed to know who I am. But when I stepped off the plane at Rose Bay, there was a reception committee. There were two types ready and waiting with a Luger to shove in my back. So I can't go openly to Evelyn Channel now, can I? That's why I'm waiting here in an alley off Fenhall Street. Evelyn Channel's flat's in that block opposite. And when she comes home from the Poinsettia Club, we'll have to think about getting inside. I have to tread softly, too softly. But I have to get to Evelyn Channel before the reception committee gets to me the second time. Car coming now. Maybe this is my pretty fan dancer.
Shall I come up, Evelyn?
It's after 3. I wish you wouldn't.
There have been times when you didn't worry about the clock.
There have been times, Felix, when I wasn't worrying about Carlotta Magnani.
Darling, will you get it into your head? Carlotta Magnani is being looked into. Security. I can't tell you why, but just take my word for it.
I'll take your word for it, Felix. But don't come to the flat tonight.
You're not expecting anyone else, are you?
I don't think I like that. Not from you.
I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about the fellow who's coming out from England after Bruno Kesselring.
Oh, for the last time, why do you act so strangely about him, Felix, as though you didn't trust me?
Forget it. And, darling, forget about Carlotta Magnani. To me, personally, she means exactly nothing.
I hope so, Felix. I love you. You know that. And dancing in the Poinsettia Club, I hear things. Don't cheat me. Ever.
As though I could. Is this good night?
Almost. Felix, I'm afraid I'm afraid for this third man who's coming after Kesselring.
Why?
Well, you know what happened to the other two.
But only you know who this other one is.
Well, that's why nothing must happen to him. Felix, tonight, coming from the club, there was a car that might have been following us.
Oh, you're letting it get you. There's nothing behind us now. The street's empty.
Oh. Kiss me, then. I must get inside. Good night, my darling.
So that's Felix Huberman. Perhaps I should have shown my hand while I had the chance. Yes, there he goes. And there goes Evelyn Channel across to the street in the flat. But before I show my hand to anyone, I have to know who organized those two thugs at the airport. Hello, what's this? So the girl was right. They were followed. There's a car going after Felix Huberman. I think we'll wait here a few more minutes before making Evelyn Channel's acquaintance. I'd like to know just what's happening about me tonight.
Cusick, hold it here a minute.
What are we doing, Mr. Huberman?
Go back to Fenhall Street in a flat quickly. Torres, you take the back entrance. Cusick, park in the street.
You're letting her go into the flat alone?
I had to. She's worried enough already, and I don't want to give her ideas. Now, both of you, don't take your eyes off the entrance to the block of flats, front or rear.
Where will you be, boss?
Back with Carlotta. We know Gregory Keene got her address from the bartender at the club. He'll show up there sometime tonight. It's 1,000 to 1. When he does, cut him down and run for it, understand?
Yeah.
And listen, chaps. If you miss him the second time tonight, Carlotta's not going to like it. She's not going to like it at all.
We're not missing him again, boss.
Say you don't. Now get back to Fenhall Street to the double. We don't want Keene to show up with only Steve in there to watch the whole street.
Fenhall Street, 315. There's a man under a lamppost 30 yards up. There's a car parked opposite the flats with a fellow at the wheel I met at the airport not long ago. And my companion on the plane from Singapore, Senior Manuel Torres, just crossed the street and disappeared. He wouldn't be watching the back of the flats, would he? And I'm here in the alley trying to work out some way to get to Evelyn Channel. Someone doesn't want me to. Someone very much doesn't want me to. But I have to cross this street, get into the block, get into flat 12, and stay alive. Hello, what's this? Well, the milkman. Yes, there's always a way. Now, if this fellow has to deliver some milk right in the alley, I may get the opportunity I want.
Who's that? Who's that? Is there someone there?
Evelyn?
Who is that?
Sorry about this, but I'm afraid your lights won't go on.
Who are you? Tell me quickly. I'll scream.
Not with me standing so close. Look, calm down. You're all right.
What's wrong with the lights?
I've been in the flat for 10 minutes. I found your meter. It seemed a good idea to heave your main switch over. Now, listen to me carefully. I'm good at this sort of thing. I can hear you breathe. I know exactly where you are. Do you know what a Walther is?
This is crazy, but... Well, what is it?
It's an air pistol. Very powerful, almost dead silent. I'm pointing it at you, darling, because I'm on ice so thin it mightn't hold me up another 5 minutes.
You don't sound like a burglar or a madman. But I can't lie here in the dark much longer without something snapping. Who are you?
Gregory George Athelstan Keene.
No, I don't believe you. Would you have come to the Poinsettia Club?
I've already been there. You dance nicely, darling.
Who sent you?
Milo Fentrick.
Why?
Bruno Kesselring.
What do your papers say?
Richard Mark Hayden, a turbojet engineer.
What was your last job in England?
A fellow called Demetrius who made a pest of himself.
So, you're Gregory Keene. And you're here and you're alive. Keene, can I sit up and put a coat on?
I can still hear you breathe. Where's the coat? I'll hand it over to you.
On the chair on your right.
Uh-huh. Here you are. Don't move about once it's on.
There's something wrong. You could have come to me openly. I'm the only one who knows who you really are, who'd care about Richard Hayden.
That's what I'd like to know. That's why I'm holding this Walther. There's something very wrong, Evelyn, my pet. And I think it's you.
I don't get it.
I was Richard Hayden, the engineer, as innocent as a morn in May. Only you knew I was the third man to come after Bruno Kesselring. But, darling, there was a reception committee at Rose Bay 2 hours ago, and they weren't playing for bottle tops.
Tell me.
I was to follow Maxim and Boys. Only a policeman stopped their car not far from here, and I took the opportunity to thank them for the lift and leave.
How'd you get my address?
Bartender at the Poinsettia Club. He was a businessman. He charged me 15 quid. But you can see why I'm a little bit touchy, can't you, darling?
Well, now that you're here, surely you don't think... Keene, I don't know how they do it.
But they do. Who are they, Evelyn?
If only I could find out.
How much did you tell Felix Huberman?
Only that you were arriving. I didn't know when. Nothing more. I followed my instructions to the letter.
Well, didn't you even tell your Felix?
My Felix?
I wasn't 10 feet from you down in the street.
Oh. Keene, you have to trust me.
Yeah, of course, dear.
You have to. Listen. Those 2 men at Rose Bay, they could have mistaken you for somebody else.
They called me by name. One of them is in a car outside your flat this minute. There's a man called Torres watching the back of the building. There's a third character leaning against a post further up the street.
So we were followed tonight.
You certainly were. They took off after Huberman. Now they're back again, waiting for me.
What are we going to do?
It's quite a problem. Milo Fentrick trusted you, but I can't afford to.
Listen to me. I've worked for military intelligence for years. In France, in England, now here. Fentress knows me. Would he put your life in my hands after 2 men had been murdered because they were sent to trace Bruno Kesselring? Would he?
I said it was quite a problem.
Look, Keene. I won't move. There's a chair behind you. You can stay here till morning. We'll go over every single detail of what's happened since you left London.
What happens in the morning?
I'll send for Felix Huberman. Those men waiting, you'll never get out of here alive.
All right, I'll take a chance on you. By the look of it, I have to. But Evelyn, wouldn't it be odd if Felix Huberman turned up here before morning?
What are you doing here, Cusick? I told you to stay outside Evelyn's flat in Fenhall Street.
I'm coming to get you, Mr. Huberman. Keene's in the flat now.
What?
Only the milkman's going in. But he's not coming out. Horses going down the street, but there's no milkman. So Stephen and me, we're taking a look around. The milkman's in a little alley. Someone's knocked him on the head.
So, Keane got to the girl. 3 hours after he arrived, in spite of all we could do to stop him. Well, come along, Cusick. We've got work to do. Keane got into the flats, but he's not getting out. Alive.
I've these few hours to decide. If the girl's to be trusted, what about Huberman? And should I go on the offensive? Yes, that's the position here at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're hunting me. It might be better if I hunted them. Perhaps I should renew my acquaintance with Manuel Torres.
Keane meets Manuel Torres again in the next chapter of this story of intrigue, Deadly Nightshade.